So I'm going to jump right into my slides and hopefully everybody can see my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to make sure that. Okay, good, great, awesome. So these are the people I'm hoping that I'm speaking to today. So you're currently unemployed or unhappily unemployed. Or happily employed and you are trying to get a job and you can't get a job. If that's you, fantastic. Okay, now my clicker is not working. Okay. Or you feel like you're not good enough or there are better qualified people. This is something I really, really see often. Oh, I'm new in Canada. I don't have Canadian experience. I can't get a job. Okay, great. We're going to be talking about some of those things today. Or you've been laid off. So now your confidence has been completely crushed and you've lost the motivation to apply for jobs. Mind you, jobs that you know that you're qualified for. Good. We'll talk about some of those things today. Or you've been out of work. You know, a lot of people before COVID hit, you know, they were out of work. Maybe they were doing their own thing and just really trying to get along with life. And then COVID hit, the pandemic hit, there are no jobs. And now you're stuck. You're trying to get back into the market and really don't know how to go about it. That's okay. Or you want a better job, you know, if it's more time or just more money, or you just want to do the things that you love, because some people just get thrown into a career path that they don't really enjoy and they're just there, they're stuck. Or you're in a career where you're expected to work 80 to 100 hours a week and you want to get out of it. Okay, we'll talk about that today. Or you've been applying, sending out your resume, refining I know people that have like 50 different versions of their resumes and they're just applying, but the phone is not ringing. Why is that? We'll look at that today. Or maybe you've come to Canada now and you're thinking, okay, maybe I need to start a new career path because whatever it was I was doing wherever I was doesn't really translate to any good jobs here. But now you're afraid, you don't know where to start, you know, you're feeling a bit insecure, or you don't even know what it takes to move into a new career. Well, I'm going to be talking about that today. So if you answered yes to any of these many questions, you're in the right place. So just one thing I want to share before I get started, you know, so you have an idea of who I am and the kind of work that I do. And this is a testimonial I got from he's now my very, very good friend, but at the point where I met him, he was my client. So he said, you know, Joan has been an amazing coach to work with. I met her at a time when I was frustrated with my quest to transition careers. I had worked with other coaches and followed other guides, but nothing worked. Meeting and working with Joan made the difference. Her change-oriented coaching style is unique. She listens thoroughly and provokes your thoughts. Her practical guidance helped me make the transition I desired with confidence in a very short period. If you're looking for a coach to motivate you, fuel your drive, push you, and make it easy for you to achieve astonishing results, then Joan is the right person for you. So just a quick of a backstory with this guy. Like, I met him at some regular function and, you know, very smart guy, very intelligent, spoke very well. So I was like, wow, okay, great. What do you do? PSW. So for those of you who don't know what that means, it means a personal support worker. And I'm like, okay, why? And he said, you know, I've been here for 5 years and everybody said to me, oh, you either have to go into nursing or PSW. That's the way things work here in Canada. Mind you, at this point, I was only 2 years in Canada, but I was like, okay, but I just launched my business. And I was like, no, I don't think so. There's other things you could do. Like, you know, I can work with you, just really help you make that transition that you want, because really you should be doing way more than this. So anyway, it took him like a few weeks to finally decide to work with me, and he did. And, you know, within, I think it was about 3 to 4 months, he got his first job as a Scrum Master. For those of you who don't know what a Scrum Master is, it's like a project manager in a software development space. And his first salary after PSW was $105,000. That was now 3 years ago, because now I'm 5 years in Canada. And he's doing extremely well. Like, he's gone on to get bigger, better paying jobs. And that's really my goal. You know, people really make a lot of mistakes when they come. They don't know where to turn. They hear stories. They listen to all those people that say, oh, you need to start from the bottom, or there are only these jobs that thrive, or they're not going to hire you because you're Nigerian. No problem. We're going to be talking about some of those things today and how you can really, really overcome it, because I do believe that everyone who has made the transition to come to this country should have no reason starting from the bottom. It should be a continuation, if not a higher stepping stone to your goals in life. So I just thought I'd share that quick result. So my talk today is really how to land your dream job, and then I'll be telling you the different steps you need to get there. So today we're going to be talking about the three things that I've found, working with a lot of successful professionals, the things that they do. And, in all honesty, if you do this stage, you will get the same result, because I've seen it over and over again with the people that I work with. So we're going to be talking about what's holding you back. And I'm not talking about some evil spirit somewhere or some village people somewhere holding you back. No, what is really, really holding you back from getting that dream job that you really want? What needs to change? So it's one thing to know, okay, what's been holding me back? But now the second step is, what do I need to do to change? What exactly needs to change in my life for me to get the kind of life and the high paying dream job that I want? And then what are your steps? How do you get there? What is the right way to go? Before we get into it, I'm just going to I don't enjoy talking about myself. I'm just going to talk a bit about myself so that you know where I am at and where I'm coming from. So just like Jeremy said, right now I own the two companies on the top, which is a business and career coaching business. This one called Just John Wosu. And then I also created my Soft Landing, which is now 3 years old. And the goal was really to help new immigrants into Canada to settle in. So it covered a lot of things, even like, just things that you need to do before you come in, what to do when you get here, how to get a job, where to live, what schools for your kids to go to, like everything, because I just believe that it should be seamless. There's just so much information everywhere and people are just getting lost. You're asking 10 people, they give you 10 different answers. So I said, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to put together this company and really just help people make that seamless transition from primarily Nigeria, but really it's applicable to every country into Canada. So in terms of my work experience, so currently I am a director at Sun Life. Been there for a couple of weeks actually, so I'm talking about that because some people say, oh, there's no jobs during the pandemic. I got this job during the pandemic, so I'll be talking about that. And before that, I worked in numerous companies in Canada: Bell Media, Bank of Montreal, Odessa, World Vision. And then in Nigeria, I had a lot of telco experience and IT as well. I'm also an author. So my book Arise just came out. Actually, I just got my first delivery yesterday. So that's pretty awesome. I'm very excited about that. So that's my latest book, Arise, the 10 Steps to Getting Up When Life Knocks You Down. And then I have other books that are written, tailored more around people who want to move to Canada. So one was Move to Canada with Ease. And the other one was the step-by-step guide to express entry, because I really wanted people who were willing and really desired a move to Canada to know exactly what it was to come to Canada. I've also been nominated for a couple of awards. This year, I'm one of the nominees for Women of Inspiration for 2020, so I'm super excited about that. And recently, Who is Who Nigeria in Diaspora nominated me to be part of their publication for 2020. So that's really, I'm very honored to be a part of that. I also show up in a lot of podcasts. I get invited to speak at a lot of summits and events. And so hopefully if you haven't seen me or heard about me, I'm happy to meet you too. So that's enough about me. That's just a bit about all the many things that I do and I get busy with. So we're going to jump right into it. So just some house rules before we get going. So I'm assuming that the questions and answers are going to be at the end. So I'm not going to be looking at the chat, but if you do have any questions, please wait till the end and we'll just deal with all of them, because I'm really going to go pretty fast because we have a lot and I only have, I think, 30 minutes to speak. So 71% of employees are looking for a new job. That's a fact. And this was a report from a survey that was held. So it just shows that either people are unhappy or people just are looking for more as part of their jobs. But there's a lot of people looking. 71%, that's a lot. That's millions upon millions of people. So yes, in one way it might be comforting to say, okay, so it's not just me. But in another way, it's like, oh my God, 71% of people. How do I differentiate myself and how do I stand out to make sure that I get that job that I'm also looking for? So you're not alone. Most of the world are looking for better jobs. So the question now is, why do you need your dream job and why now? So you might think that, okay, a job is just a job, but research has shown that unhappiness and unfulfillment at work is one of the highest stressors affecting people in their health, in their relationships at home, everything. Like once you're unhappy at work, you carry that with you, because guess what? You spend at least minimum of 40 hours a week at work. And even when you leave work, it's there in your head, you're thinking about work, you're upset that somebody did something to you at work, or that you're not being appreciated for the work that you do, and you carry that home and you just become a very, very negative person who's just angry all the time. And you may not know why, but most times for most people, it's just work, So that's part of the big problem. When you find a job that you love and you really, really deserve, it really improves your self-confidence. That's number one. But it also increases your overall health and your well-being because you're happier for it. You wake up on Monday and like, whoa, okay, it's time to go to work. Let's go get this done. Oh, I'm so excited. You're constantly thinking. You're very creative. And then it just affects your entire life. You're glowing. People want to be around you. Your colleagues at work want to be around you. Everyone's like, people can't wait to get together to work with you. And that's very, very key for sustenance because we know that whether we like it or not, a lot of us are going to be working till we're 65. Some of us are closer to 65 now, not to give away my age, but a lot of us still have quite a bit of years to go before we get to 65. So the question now is, the world is changing. The world as we knew it 3 months ago, 4 months ago, is gone for good. The world is changing, and what do you want to do about it? Do you just want to sit back and be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to watch the numbers every day? Oh, the US now has 3.5 million COVID victims. Or are you going to say, okay, maybe now is that time where I need to really, really think about my life and think about what it is that I want for myself. What kind of life do I want? Especially for those who relocated to Canada. Okay, so maybe I've just been coasting for the past 2-3 years doing whatever job it is. Is that why I came? What do I really want for my life? So maybe now is the time for you to really, really reflect and say, you know what? I'm going to step into that change that I want, and I'm going to be part of the world that is changing because there's so many opportunities with this pandemic, and you can choose to be part of that change, or hey, you can just sit back and let the world pass you by. But I'm hoping that you'll be part of the change. So why don't you have your dream job? People would usually say, oh, maybe it's my resume. Oh, people know they don't like me. Oh, there are no all these many, many reasons. Oh, maybe I need to improve my resume. Maybe I need to go back to school. Maybe I need to go back to school. I hear that a lot. Maybe I need to go back to school. Just whatever reasons it is you think it's outside of you, it's not. The truth of the matter is, being able to attract the job that you want is really internal to you. It's about your mindset. And I'm going to be talking about the 3 key ones that really, really stop people from getting the job that they want. And the first one is, I'm not good enough. Imposter syndrome, oh my God, it affects everybody. It affects me. It's that feeling of, oh, I'm not good enough. Or even when you have a job, every day you're going to work, you're like, maybe one day they're going to figure me out. They're going to figure out that I'm a fraud, that I don't really know what it is I'm doing. You're constantly watching other people. Are they better than me? They know more than me. Or you're afraid to speak up in meetings because you're like, oh, maybe I don't know. Or if I say something bad, then they're going to realize that I'm not good enough. They're going to be wondering why they hired me. It's such a terrible, bad syndrome, and really affects a lot of people because it stops you in your track. Constantly in this, I'm not good enough, it's not possible, it's not going to happen for me, and then woe betides you, now have more negative people around you. Then they'll tell you stories about everybody else who tried but did not succeed. And then you're stuck in that mindset consistently that I'm just not good enough. And then it just stops you in your tracks and you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to bother. Let me just go to where I know that I'll be good enough. But it's not true. Because there's no evidence of this thought that keeps going on in your head that you're not good enough. So imposter syndrome is really, really something that you need to take care of and you really need to get rid of. And that's one of the things I really help my clients with, to really build that confidence and know that everybody has exactly the same feelings. I remember when I first got to Canada and people were like, Canadian experience. I was like, man, because I had lived in the UK, I lived in Nigeria. I was like, Canadian experience. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter what other experience you have from wherever it is you're coming from. We need Canadian experience. So I was like, okay, maybe Canada is way so advanced that whatever experiences I have, is not good enough. I almost started to doubt myself that, me, a player like me, I was like, wow, okay, Canadian experience is a problem. So I was really expectant, getting into the corporate workforce in Canada. And I got in, and I don't know about you, but I'm sure most people have the same experience. You're shocked. You're like, is that it? Like what? Hey, no offense, but come on, we're smarter than these people. That's just, you get in there, you're like, really? And this is what was so difficult for me to get in. Wow. And you find that even some of the things that we did back in Nigeria, when you tell them about it, they're like, whoa. And then you're like, so why was I so worried? Why was I feeling so inferior? Why was I comparing myself to all those people who had God knows how many number of years in Canada? There's no evidence or truth that they're better than you. And you really need to get rid of that insecurity in your mind, because you're good enough. You've already come this far. A lot of us have a lot of experience from back home. You've come this far. don't ever doubt what it is that you are or whatever you are, because it's not true. So that's one of the mindsets that really, really holds people back. Another one is there are no jobs. Even when I came to Canada 5 years ago, I heard the exact same story. There are jobs in Canada. I was like, okay, but that's not true. But Canada is bringing in people. They keep saying, oh, want to bring in highly skilled professionals to come into Canada. I know there are no jobs. Oh, those jobs are not for us. Those jobs are for white Canadians. And it's so easy to really, really get in that mindset, especially now with the pandemic. Then you're like, okay, truly there are no jobs, because 3 million people lost their jobs in 2 months. So definitely there are no jobs. That's a scarcity mindset. And, it's not just work, it's every area of your life. Whatever you focus on becomes your reality. If you believe that there is scarcity will keep showing up in your life. So I was telling you about my new job that I got. I started my new business early this year. I'd been out of corporate employment for a while, and I was just doing my business, and then the pandemic hit. And I was like, okay, so what do I do now? My business was still okay for a couple of months, but then I started to see the decline, and I was like, okay, you know what? It's not like I don't like 9-to-5 jobs. I like corporate employment. I like what I do. I like working with the teams that I work with. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll look for a job. And I was looking, but I wasn't really looking. But I was just like, okay, let me just see what's out there. Because I never really go in with, maybe there are no jobs. I go in with, the day I want a job's going to show up. That's the mindset I go into the job market with. So I'm there looking, I'm like, okay, no, I'm very picky about the jobs that I pick. And then I saw this job, and honestly, what really got me was just the way they wrote the job description. It was like, hey, are you a superstar? Are you this? Are you looking for change? I was like, okay, that kind of sounds cool. And so I just applied. And it was one of those quick apply on LinkedIn. So I just applied. And a couple of days later, they called me. And then this thing happened within 2 weeks. It was like back-to-back interviews. I was like, whoa. Even when they gave me the offer, I was like, okay, can I think about it? Like, okay, I'm not really ready. Wait, let me, okay, I knew I wanted a job. I wasn't sure, this is too fast for me. Because everything happened within 3 weeks, to be honest. And, it was such a fantastic job. And it's one of those jobs, like, I have this personality where, I'm more confident on the outside than I am on the inside, but I know it does work for me. So every time you send me a job offer, I send it back to you. I'm like, we may have agreed on the rate before, but once you send me the offer, I'm like, it's not good enough. Please, can we renegotiate the salary? So I just do that, just to even test them to see whether they really want me. And I did that with Sun Life, and they were like, okay, within 5 minutes, like, okay, we'll pay you what you want. So I was like, okay, all right, let's do this. But the point is, it's not really about the pay. But the point is, I never go in with, there are no jobs. I go in with, if I want a job, the kind of job I want, it's going to show up. I go in with, there are many jobs. And the truth is, if you go on LinkedIn every day, there are many jobs. Even like with Sun Life where I work, every day we're releasing a job vacancies. I'm like, but there's so many jobs. But I keep hearing people say, no, this person has been trying. This person, stories from everywhere else. Oh, this person tried, they couldn't get in. Or, oh, they're not going to hire me because I have an accent. Or, they don't like Black people. Oh, those are natural challenges. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that, so maybe there's some racism within corporate Canada. But you can't really focus on that. You have to focus on what it is that you want. And if what you want is a fantastic job, then just believe it. Yes, there's some steps that you need to do, but you need to believe it first. That's really the first step. I know people who are overqualified, way more. I don't even have a master's. I know people that are way more qualified than I am, and they're here, they're driving Uber. And when I say, why are you driving Uber? Is that what you want? There are no jobs. They're not going to hire me. Oh, somebody said that. And I'm like, if that's what you believe to be true, then it's going to be true. It's really the law of life. That's really how it works out. So I want you to go away. If you miss everything I'm talking about today, abundance mindset is very key. It's key in every area of your life, but and to get in a job as well, it is very key. You go in with the right mindset that there are jobs. I'm good enough, and I will find the job that I want will show up, and it will. And you can do things like, one of the things I always do is before I get a job, I say how much I want to earn, and I just believe it to be true. That's it. Like I just say, this is what I want to earn. This is what I want to earn. End of story. And it will show up. Just have that believe in yourself, believe that the jobs are available, whatever religion you believe in, believe that there's a greater power than you that is working behind the scenes to make all of this happen. So just believe it, and you will see that. jobs will start to show up. I think this Sun Life job is probably my first job that I've applied for since I came to Canada. Every other job I've gotten, recruiters have called me. This is the first time I've actually clicked on apply to apply for a job, and I actually started the job. Because I always believe once I want a job, it will show up, and it always shows up. And the third thing is rejection. I didn't get the job. I was fired. I had a client who was fired from a job. His first job. So I worked with him. He never worked in corporate. So he got into the job, and then he was fired after 3 months. It took him 6 months to recover. And I'm like, I get it. Like, some people need more time to recover, but you have to recover. That's the end goal. The message is that at the end of it, you must recover. If you stay stuck there, then you will just go back to where you are. I have another friend. She's a friend. She wasn't a client, but I helped her to get a project management job. And, she got the job. I could see the mistakes she was making instantly. And I was like, okay, girl, you need to be careful. You need to do things in a certain way. And she's like, no, my boss is cool. And she just do what she was doing. After about, I don't even think she lasted a month, because they're pretty quick, especially if you're a contractor. Oh, they're pretty quick. So they let her go. And this was maybe 4 years ago, because then I was a project manager as well. So this was 4 years ago. And she lost that job and lost her confidence for good. And it's been 4 years until today, she's still doing minimum wage jobs. But during this pandemic, she called me, she said, you know what, John, it's been 4 years. And really, to be honest, I'm looking at myself, I'm looking at you, and I'm like, wow, 4 years has really passed me by. I'm not special, I'm not intelligent, like I'm not, but there's just certain things that I don't joke with. And one of those things is really my confidence. Anything that breaks my confidence, I deal with it straight on. Because, that's what the world is. They're looking for how to break you, and it's up to you if you choose to be broken. Yes, we break once in a while, but you need to get up. You need to rise up and be like, okay, so that happened. Good, I learned. Was there any lesson I needed to learn from it? Yeah, okay, there was a lesson. What was the lesson? I learned the lesson. Time to move on. But it's not, oh, everybody's the shame. People are going to know I was fired. Nobody's going to know you were fired. Even the next job you're going to is not going to know you were fired. You don't have to say you were fired. So why are you holding it as, okay, this has now defined who I am. I'm a failure. I'm not good enough. And then you go back into that noise of, oh, you can't get a job because you're not good enough. Nobody wants you, and all of that mindset. So my friend, just this pandemic, she's now like, okay, you know what? I want to go back into project management. So now I'm working with her again, and I'm sure she'll get a job soon. So, regardless of if you're fired from a job, or maybe you applied for a job, you got through the interview stage, or you got through even 4 steps of the interview stage, and they don't take you. Yeah, it happens. You feel down, you ask yourself, why me? Or is it, okay, good. Do that for a few, maybe days or hours, but you need to snap out of it. It should never define who you are. You should be like, okay, next, who's next? Because the biggest person who rejected you at the interview is not going to call the next person to interview and say, oh, don't hire him, or he's not good, he doesn't know what he's talking about. You're probably never even going to see that person again. And that's their opinion. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. If there are lessons you need to learn, or maybe you made a mistake during the interview, like, okay, maybe next time I know what to say. But it's not, okay, we're wearing shame on our head, rejected, not good enough. You're just killing yourself, because it will just stop you from really, really moving forward. So those are really, really, the 3 things that I've found that really, really holds a lot of people back from really getting that dream job and living the dream life that they want. So what does getting this dream job and getting this dream life look like? So the first thing is your why. I'm very big on why. If you don't know why you're doing something, then it doesn't really matter. And when problems show up, you just give up because you don't even remember why you were doing it in the first place. So really understanding, what is my why? What do I want? What kind of life do I want to do? What kind of job do I want? Do I want high flying? Do I want to go to the office with a tie? Do I want to be part of senior management and making key decisions? Whatever your why is, or do I just want a job that's so flexible where I have more time to spend with my family and my spouse and my kids? Great. Know exactly what your why is. Or maybe you just like money. I'm evil. Yeah, there's no shame in liking money. You may just say, oh, I just want more money. Good. Know what your why is and hold on to that. And then from your why, you're like, okay, so what skills do I need to have this job? You now have all the skills. You're ready. You're ginger. You're like, yes, I can do this. I got this. And then your resume is fantastic. Wherever you send out your resume to, people are calling you. You don't have to keep having 50 versions of your resume. You get to the interview, you crush it. Every single interview, you crush it. People always ask me, John, how do you? I said, the only thing a company can do not to hire me is don't call me for interview. Once you call me for interview, even me, I'll be laughing with you because I know you cannot reject me. Impossible. Every interview I go for, I get the job. So, getting to that point where you're that confident, once I show up for an interview, the company's in trouble because they're not going to have a choice. They're going to have to give me that offer. And of course, at the end of day you have that dream job, you have that offer, start the job, and you start really enjoying life that you want. So this is my product, and it's called the Ultimate Transition Blueprint. So I really created it really to help people, not just people who wanted to transition careers, but people who just wanted to transition jobs. Like I've had clients who say, okay, so I've been working as a manager for a while. I want to get into senior management. How do I become a director? How do I become a VP? How do I become an SVP? Because it's all possible. Like whatever you want, you can get. That's the truth. But there's a system that you have to follow to be able to get it. And you have to know what the right system is. So the first thing that I do with my clients and with you as well is really, you got to get clear on what it is that you want. You got to be very, very clear. Where is the end goal? Where am I heading towards? Where is that blue north? You have to be crystal clear on that. And then you need to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, then you're just shooting in the dark. You're listening to everybody, anything anybody says to you, you follow this direction, then you say something else tomorrow, you follow that direction. But it's all about getting clear on what the plan is. Okay, this is what I'm going to do now, and then this is what I'm going to do next, and this is what I'm going to do after that. So you have a very, very clear plan. And then having support, having someone that is there with you to walk you every step of the way to make sure that, even when you make a mistake, okay, let's go back. Let's see what happened there. Let's look at it. You have that constant support from someone who's been there and who knows exactly where it is that you want to go to. And at the end of the day, you got to succeed, and it cannot be, I know people who listen to people who, you cannot listen to someone who's not successful and expect to be successful. Like, it's just as simple as that. It's not being arrogant, but someone who's not being where you want to go to can never take you there. All they'll tell you stories. Oh, I heard of somebody who, oh, I know somebody who, oh, my sister's cousin, husband's wife's brother. Story. My system is about, tried and tested, proven system that I've used, not just for me personally, but also with all my clients over and over again. I can wake up tomorrow. If I don't like this, my job, I can quit today and I will get another job in a week. It's not because I'm special. It's because I know how this system works. And I know exactly what you need to be able to get the clarity, have the plan, have the support, and also to get the success that you need. So quickly, I'm just looking at time here. This is one of my clients. His name is Tony. He's a film director. And he also did the same thing, moved to Canada. He was like, all over the place, come and do this, do that. They were pulling him all over the place. Oh, come and do business analysis. He did business. Oh, come and do this. He was just all over the place. And, after like a year of just not getting by in Canada, he reached out to me on LinkedIn. He was like, hey, I need help. I said, okay, let's just book a session. Just one session I had with him. He didn't even end up being a long-term client, just one session, because all he needed was that clarity to really know what direction he wanted to go into. So we had that one session, and that was it. He was like, wow, light bulb at the end of the tunnel. Wow, okay, this is where I want to go. This is my plan. And I actually retained him now as a mentor. So he wasn't a paying client. He was just one of my mentees, because I do offer some mentoring packages as well, just to help people who are really, really good action takers and who just want, very low touch support from me. So this was Tony, and now he's doing great. He's a film director here in Canada. Then Eniola, she's one of those people who just kept taking courses. Like, when she contacted me, I was like, how many certifications have you done? She's like, I've done this and that. I was like, why? She's like, oh, because somebody said I have to do that. So she had all these certifications behind her name and still couldn't get a job. And so I worked with her, because it's not about having just a certification, it's having the right mindset, knowing how to interview. I know if you've been to interviews in Canada, you know that Canadian interviews are a little bit different from everywhere else in the world. So it's knowing how to interview, how to have the confidence, knowing exactly, what they're looking for. Yes, your credentials are good, but that's not really what they're looking for. So really understanding how it works and how everything pieces together. Yes, trainings are good, but knowing how to take those trainings and how to take your experience and how to tell your story and how to show up as a confident self really is what makes it all work together. So I worked with Adela. She's one of my super clients. She's doing pretty good today. So how does it all work? Good, this system. So the first thing, like I said, is what is your why? We need to figure out what is your why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want this change? What kind of life do you want? What is a dream high-paying job? What does that look like for you? Not what somebody else told you. What does it look like for you? We got to get clear on that first of all. And then what's your ideal career? Like, you can say to me, oh, John, but I just like to do makeup. We're in Canada. Makeup artists are not doing well in Canada, just in case, So it's, what is your why? If your why is to I just want to enjoy myself and just do what I love. I have enough savings in my account. I don't really need the money. Great. Okay, makeup artistry it is. Yeah, let's make you an Instagram celebrity. But if part of your why is I want to make more money, then we now look at what are the careers that are thriving in Canada. There's no need to come and say, oh, I was a branch manager for a bank in Nigeria and I must be a branch manager for a bank in Canada. You will not make money. because branch managers here don't make as much money as they do in Nigeria. So in crafting that ideal career is also looking at what is the market looking like? How much money can you make? What are the kind of jobs that are available? Are you living in a province where those jobs even thrive? So looking at all of that and then coming out with, okay, so this is the ideal career for your situation and for your why and for the location where you are. And then, are there any learning gaps? Are there trainings that you need to do? What are the steps that you need to do to get into this ideal job that you want? We kind of map that out and start to work with you on that. And then, of course, at the end, you need to have a resume. Your resume is that is your selling point. That's what sells you. If you don't have a good resume, your phone will just not ring. It's really as simple as that. If you've been applying for jobs and your phone is not ringing, most times it's your resume. So we'll help you craft that irresistible resume that once you apply, then you may not even have to apply. Let the recruiters be chasing you. I get calls like almost every day. Let the recruiters be chasing you because your resume is just irresistible and it's amazing. And it really captures what it is that you want to do. And then interview preparation. Interviews, I love interviews. People are scared of interviews. I love interviews because I'm like, okay, that's my time to shine. I love interviews. So really knowing how to present yourself, how to show up as that confident person. You might be shaking inside. Sometimes I'm shaking on the inside, or maybe it's even like even with Sun Life. I didn't know anything about Sun Life. All I did is Sun Life insurance. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't really prepare for the interview. So I thought I was a bit nervous, but I still showed up as myself. Which is where I'm asking them questions like, okay, hang on a minute. So you tell me, what exactly have you guys been doing? What have you done so far? What are your pain points? So this happened. So what is your long-term goal? Like, what is it, you, Mr. CIO? What is it? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want behind your name over 5 years? And they're like, are we not supposed to be interviewing this girl? Why is she the one asking us questions? So just knowing how to show up. And once they see that in you, they're like, okay, we need you. We really need you. When can you start? As opposed to they're throwing questions at you and they're there, hey, should I lie? Should I not lie? Hey, should I say I've done this? So, throw it at them. You be the one, the competent person, asking them those questions and be like, so tell me more. Like I read in the news that you guys did this. What's that about? Tell me more. And you see them, they'll be stammering. Well, actually, we're going to be honest with you. You're not really doing a good job. That's why we need someone like you. So knowing, and it's a skill that you can learn. Anybody can learn it, So knowing how to show up as that person, that confident person, is what I work with you during your interview preparation. So I know you might be saying, but, okay, we've had it all before, but you can't afford it. Okay, but you see, like my friend who's been 4 years now, 4 years doing minimum wage jobs, and she's like, John, you live by the lake. Oh my God, you drive a nice car. No, I don't care about material things. It doesn't bother me. But she's like, I want to have the things that you have. I'm like, but you were not willing to invest in yourself 4 years ago. Imagine that one-time investment you would have done. And then, you just spend 4 years just grinding. You can't go on vacations. You can't do anything. You have no time to spend with your kids because you're working God knows how many hours, 80 hours a week just to make ends meet. So what is the cost to not paying for that initial investment in yourself? That's the question you should be asking yourself. How much does this dream job really mean to me? How tired am I of where I am right now? This working hard and grinding and grinding. I came to Canada for a better life. Where is this better life? What is that cost to you of not having that dream job that you really, really want? I don't have time. Well, you don't have time because you're spending so much time working 80 hours a week, just trying to make ends meet. But look at it this way, put it in the work now because, the system I created is quite intense. It's a lot of, because we have to get to the root cause and the mindset and change all of that. And then really start to build, it's almost like a new personality for you so that you can show up as that person that is irresistible to companies. So you might say, oh, I don't have time. I'm busy doing this. Okay, good. You don't have time. Then you keep going. Before you know it, the years fly back in this country. At least for me, I'm like, whoa, it's 5 years already. How? I just came. I feel like I just came yesterday. It's 5 years already. And that's what really happens. The year flies by and you're like, wow, I haven't even started. I came here for a better life. And look at me. You start thinking, my life was better when I was in Nigeria. Maybe I should go back. No, forget about going back to Nigeria. You're here now. You need to make it work. And there's a way to make it work. So if you put in the time now and you really work in yourself and you do the things that you need to do, you'll be smiling and singing to the bank soon. And there's a people say, oh, but I've been to so many trainings. They say I should do this training. They say I should that the training. Yeah, like I said, I have he's my friend. And I don't subscribe to what he does. Like he trains people on what he's not doing. For me, I just feel like that's a fraud. Like you're telling people, come and do this training, but you're not even working in that field. I'm like, why you don't even believe in what you're selling. I don't sell what I don't believe in. If I've not done it, I can't sell it to anybody. I can't teach you what I haven't done for myself. I've done this over and over and over and over. Even people that knew me back in the UK, people say, but Joe, back in the UK as a 21-year-old, like I was making 10 times way more than what my peers were making. But because even back then, even I didn't know there was a certain way I functioned, but I just knew instinctively I needed to do X, Y, Z, and I was just thriving. I was like, oh, okay. I've never used connection to get anything in my life. I just know if I do A, B, C, D, I will get X, Y, Z. And it's just always really worked for me. So I've been doing this for so long, for over 20 years, just knowing how to get myself where I want to get, the kind of jobs I want, the kind of money I want to earn. And now I've learned how to teach people as well. And it's not about going to go and get the 1 million certifications. Certifications are good, they're a dime a dozen if you ask me. It's knowing exactly what it is to do and following someone and being mentored by someone who's been there. That, for me, that is the most key thing. I don't listen to, like, when people are talking to me, I'm like, what have you done? Like, why am I listening to you? Like, I don't have time for that. I don't listen to people who haven't been where I want to go to. So I'm very protective of my space. I don't want negative, you're not getting, we know how that goes. So it's about showing up to work with somebody who's been there, who can show you exactly how it is to get there. Showing you every day. I'm so pissed off. Sun Life is such a big company, 10,000 people or so employees in Canada, maybe just in Toronto. And every time I'm in a meeting, now everything is virtual. So I'm always scrolling at people's pictures. I'm like, man, where are the Black people in this place? Even like we had a directors meeting last week, and I'm like, my God, so many directors. And I'm scrolling, looking at images. I could not see any Black person. I'm like, why? Like, what is this? This is so freaking wrong. I take it personally. I'm like, what is going on? We're so intelligent. There's so many of us in this country. Why is it that we're not getting in? It starts with the mindset. Oh, we can't get in. We're not good enough. You are good enough. You just need to know how to get in there. If that's what you desire, if you want to be a director or senior leadership, you can do it. You can get in there. And I've been there. I'm working in it now, and I can show you exactly how to get there. Because you're good enough. I'm not special. There's nothing special about me. So this is my blueprint, my career transition system that really helps you get the dream job that you want to get. Because again, it doesn't have to be a dream that is only for certain people. It's for everybody. You can tap into it. It doesn't have to be a dream anymore. It can become your reality from today. So it's for people who are ready for change. I'm always ready for change. Even today, like I'm ready for change. I can go for a run now. I'm like, oh my God, change, and let's pivot. If you're ready for change and you're really tired of, the grinding and the suffering and the listening to 1 billion people, and you really want, okay, how do I do this? How do I get the life that I came for here in Canada? Then you will benefit from this. If you want to do with all those mindsets and those limiting beliefs I talked about, I'm not good enough, or this person said this, or I've been fired from a job, they don't call me for interviews, they don't take it, oh, I have an accent. When I hear I have an accent, I'm like, if you don't like an accent, change your accent, to be honest. Like there's accent reduction classes. Go change your accent if it really bothers you. But I'm telling you that your accent is not the problem. Because people who show up in confidence, trust me, these people, they will listen. Is when you're a bit insecure and you say, they're like, huh? Oh, sorry, what was that? Oh, you mean this? Yeah, but that's the way they are. But you shouldn't allow it to affect you. Your accent is not a limiting factor at all. I work with people who, their accents, even for me, I'm like, it doesn't really matter. Those are just limiting beliefs, or it doesn't matter. So I work with you to really get rid of that. Forget all that stuff you've heard. Forget all the negative stories. Oh, there are no jobs. People are earning. Forget all that. I'm here to tell you that there is a way, and it will work for you if you're really ready to deal with that. If you're ready to identify gaps in your dream job, you can just have a dream and say, I wish, and I'm praying and pray. Okay, pray all you want. It's not going to happen. If you're ready to really, okay, let's sit down. This is where I want to be, and this is what I need to get there. Let's identify those gaps and start working on them. Then this is for you. If you're an action taker, because there's nothing more frustrating than, if I say to you, okay, you need to do X, Y, Z, and then 2 weeks later, like, I'm busy, I don't have time, excuses. No, it's for people who are really, so you got to be tired enough. You got to desire this enough and be ready to take action. If you don't take action, it's just wishing, oh, I wish. 10 years have gone by. Like, village people. It's not village people. It's just you not willing to take the action. And you got to be ready to put in the work. Because it's not easy, but it pays off in the end. You put in the work now, and then it pays off in the end. Because look at it, you have the life that you want. You can afford anything that you want. You can live the kind of lifestyle you want. You have time to spend with your family. You're doing exactly what it is that you love. It's worth it if you ask me. You got to be ready to put in that action. And at the end of the day, you will get the job that you deserve. So what next? You might be asking, okay, so what now? You've been talking, everything looks all hunky-dory and nice. What next? Well, what next is you decide, you know, you can just do nothing. Oh, I've had it all before. Okay, that's fine. Like, I hope you enjoyed the last 40 minutes of me talking. You can choose to do nothing, but I would not recommend that because now, like I said, the world is changing. And now you should be looking for, okay, how do I ride on that wave of change? There's no better time than now to really get in, to really start to make those changes that you need to have the kind of life that you want. When people say 2020 is the worst year, I'm like, 2020 is the best year. I don't know about you all, because guess what? While people are sleeping and watching the numbers go, I don't even know how many people have COVID. It's not that I'm insensitive to it, but I'm not going to allow that really, really detract me completely from what my goals are. Do you know? So while people are sleeping and watching the numbers, I'm like, okay, so what do I need to do next? In this COVID period, I wrote my book, I launched an online course, I started a new job. Like, COVID has been so perfect for me. It's like, wow, 2020 is my best year ever. So you can choose to be with the masses, people who are like, victim, or nobody. Okay, good, nothing. Do nothing. No problem. You get what you deserve. But I'm saying to you today, you can stop that. You can really, really change and really make that trajectory today and start to create the life that you want. Second step, I've given you a lot of information. I talk really fast, so I'm sure it's a lot of information that you've gotten today. Change your mindset, use the steps that I've talked about, craft your why. Why do I want this? Look at what your ideal job is. You can do all of this on your own. It's fine. I share my system freely because I really, really want to empower everybody to get what I have. Because I know I'm not special. Like, I know there's nothing so amazingly fantastic about me. But somehow I'm able to get these things, and I really want everybody to get it because it's pretty simple. Like, it's pretty simple. A, B, C, you get X, Y, Z. So you can take everything I've taught you today and really just put it to good use. And I can guarantee you that you will get the same result that I've gotten for myself and for my clients as well. So that's fine. Go ahead, I'll share my deck. I think I can share my deck, take it all. I want you to succeed. So take it all and really implement it. And tell me in a couple of weeks, oh, John, I tried this and it really worked. I tried that and it really, really worked. So you can do it. Or 3, you can choose, okay, maybe I want to work with you, John. How does this all work? I want you to help me. I want you to show me the way and tell me exactly what you did. And I will show you, because even people who don't pay me, I share with them anyway. I'm a very transparent, open person because I do want everybody to succeed. So you might be thinking, okay, maybe I want to work with you. Maybe you can show me, I want you to hold my hand. I have people who are like, oh, John, can I do a session today? Just talk to me about anything, because I also do life coaching and inspirational speaking as well. Just talk to me. No problem. I'll talk to you and inspire you. But it's only for certain people who are really, really ready to take action, because I'm a bulldozer. Like, I will push, I'll break you, just to, put you back together. But I will push you till you succeed. Because for me, failure is not an option. There's only one option, and that's success. And we must all succeed, and we can all succeed. So if you want to work with me, you can reach out to me. I'll share my details later, and you can see. Or if you just want, just want to talk. Like, I do offer free clarity sessions as well. If you're like, I'm just lost, I don't know where to start, I'm confused. If you just want to have that conversation, you can connect with me, book a free clarity session, and we can just start from there. So today we've talked about what's holding you back. Largely your mindset. There's the negative thoughts, the limiting beliefs, the rejection, all of that. Start to get rid of that. We've also talked about the things that you need to change. What are those steps that you need to start to change? Things you were doing before that no longer serving you. What changes do you need to make? And then the next steps, I showed you the 5-step blueprint plan. Things that you can start to do to really, really get you closer to that dream high-paying job that you need and you deserve. So that's what we've covered today. We're 9:46 for me. So I think we're going to throw it open for some questions and answers, and then I will share a big surprise with you in a few minutes. So thank you for listening.
Awesome, Joe. Awesome. Really, really thanks for that is excellent. Awesome. So probably I will start with the questions, and for everyone, please, you can unmute yourself if you have a question, but I think I will start with the question first. So where does your LinkedIn profile really come to play in your job search?
Yeah. So some people still believe that LinkedIn is a social media platform, which it is. But let's not kid ourselves. When you apply for a job, the first thing they do is they go look you up on LinkedIn. So your LinkedIn should always match your resume. Like, if you look at my LinkedIn, it's not as detailed as some people's own. Like, you can make it as detailed as you want, but you should at least have, these are the past jobs I did and these are the positions that I held at the barest minimum. And have a nice, don't have a picture of your dog. Like, don't do it. Or don't leave it blank. Have a picture, have a professional picture, a serious looking picture. It could be a happy face, but have a nice looking picture of yourself, and then if you want to do the summary bit as well, because that gives just a brief overview of what it is that you've done, your experiences, that's great as well. But at the barest minimum, if you still think that LinkedIn is a social media platform and it's just for fun and games, have your picture and have the previous roles that you've held and then the durations. That's at the barest minimum. But every recruiter, 99.9999% of recruiters, even hiring managers, the moment they see your resume, they're going to your LinkedIn to go check you out. Like, I'm being checked. Even during one of my interviews with Sun Life, one of the SVPs, she said to me, "Oh, I checked you out on LinkedIn. You're so busy. You have businesses. You have Aisha." So I was like, "Okay." Well, I said, "I'm happy you checked me out because I checked you out too." So LinkedIn is very, very key. You're checking them. They're checking you. Make sure you have a LinkedIn profile.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. Okay, so who would like to ask a question? Please, you can unmute yourself. Questions? Okay.
Well, if they don't have questions, it means that I was super and they understood everything that I said.
Okay, I'll just say a few words. I must confess, this is the first positive coaching class I've been to. I've been to a couple where, like you said, the first thing they said, there's no job here because I'm in Alberta, and they tell you oil price is down. And my case is kind of different because I came here in November of last year, and I attended courses like this, and all negative, no, the oil price and all that. Immediately, I went back. I had to leave my family here, and I went back to Nigeria because I had, should I say, a fairly okay job back home.
Yeah.
And I came here March to see my family, and the plan was to go back April 1st and the whole COVID stuff. And I'm on lockdown here. So I would say maybe it was my wife's prayer that's working anyways. But going forward, I've tried to apply to different companies because I'm an occupational health and safety professional back home. I have a first degree in petroleum engineering, a MSc in subsea engineering. And so I work, like I said, as an occupational health safety person in oil company as well. So going forward here, I've tried to apply to a couple of companies, and I've not had a single response, a single reply. So I'm of the opinion that maybe it's my CV or maybe it's my qualification, because I've looked into OHS here, and they do a lot of, they have their own regulatory body that you have to familiarize yourself with. And I'm presently doing a course in the University of Calgary to get myself abreast with their codes, conducts, and regulations.
Yeah.
But going forward, I don't know if I should go back to Nigeria pending when I get that qualification and have that paper to show that I have familiarized myself with the tools of working here as an OHS personnel here in Canada. So I'm yet to make up my mind on should I stay, should I go back, and all that.
So how long will it take you to get that certification?
So with the pace I'm going, I think in January I'll be done.
That's still 6 months away.
Yes.
And it's online, I'm guessing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So like if you have a job in Nigeria that is still paying the bills, then you go and continue with your job. But more importantly, because if you've been applying for jobs, then I'm assuming that you're already qualified for those jobs. So if they're not calling you for interviews, then your resume is probably not up to par. And maybe that's where you need to start looking at. Because if you're seeing that there are jobs available, Like, some people say, those jobs are not real. Those jobs they're posting. No, those jobs are real. They exist. So it's just that maybe your resume is not up to par. So maybe that's just something that you need to tweak, to make sure that you're getting called at least for the interview. If you're getting interviews and you're not doing well at interviews, then we know that it's the interview. But if you're not even getting calls, then we know that your resume needs to be fixed.
Okay. Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other person with a question? Yeah, thanks, Emiko, for that question. Any other questions? You can unmute yourself if you would like to ask a question. Okay, I can see someone raising your hand. Temidayo. Yeah, please go ahead, Temidayo.
Yes. Hi, good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for your time. Really informative session. I just want to ask one question and back to LinkedIn as well. I understand that if you're applying for various job roles, you might have to tweak the CV several, to fit the several roles you're applying for. Now, this is my question as it relates to LinkedIn, okay? More often than not, we already have a set profile or a set job description that appears on our LinkedIn profiles. Mm-hmm. But if there's another job I see that I'm kind of interested in, that is a little bit off my LinkedIn, like John said, the first thing they do is go look into your LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. Just the way we tailor our CV, quote unquote, are we expected to tweak our LinkedIn profile for every time we have an application out, especially knowing that sometimes you have 4 or 5 of these things out simultaneously. So I just want to ask, from my own perspective, how do you navigate that, tailoring your resume and as well making sure your LinkedIn is relevant to the roles you're applying for?
Okay, so here's a little tip. Like if the roles are related, then it's easier. But if the roles are completely unrelated, then it becomes tricky. So if you know that you want to apply for a job as a researcher, but you also want to apply for a job as a salesperson or a sales manager, or you want to apply for logistics, for that company, so I always say any company that you put on LinkedIn, you must have worked there. You must have worked there for your own safety, because if they find out that you haven't worked there, it just looks bad on you. So put companies where you've worked. For the job title, if you were a manager, put manager. That's it. Manager at BP or Chevron, just leave it as manager for now. And you don't have to fill in, the things you do. You can put the projects you worked on, just the high level project. That's the name of the project that you worked on. You don't have to put, I was responsible for this documentation, because they're like, but you see, you're applying for a sales job, like, you're responsible for this documentation. Just leave it as a manager. It's just a very broad role, because title most times is very different from the actual job that you perform, the responsibilities that you do. So keep your job title as broad as you can keep it. So if you were like a manager, put it as a manager. If you're a specialist, you can say a specialist, and then you put the name of the project or the product you were working on, and just leave it as vague as that. Because these people just want to see that you're a real human being who exists on LinkedIn. They don't expect your CV to now be on LinkedIn where it's completely fully detailed. But like I said, make sure that it's a company where you worked, and try to keep that title as vague as you want. I also, I had to tweak my LinkedIn once, but I didn't want to be tweaking my LinkedIn for every job application. So I kept my job description, like I would say maybe something like, I just put, maybe I was a center manager. What is a center manager? Yeah, or whatever I define it to be. It could be that I was in charge of marketing, or in charge of HR, whatever I decided to be is what it was. So I don't have to keep saying, today I was a marketing manager, or tomorrow I was a operations manager, or no, I was head of I just kept it as vague as possible. So that's one, little tip that you can use, just to make sure that you're not having to change your resume multiple times. And by the time you really decide on, this is the line I want to tell, this is the kind of job I want, then you really don't have to be tweaking your CV as much. Yes, there's certain sentences that you might see in a JD that you want to put into your CV, but your CV shouldn't be total overhaul every single time. You're like, your CV should not be complete, 20 different CVs completely different. No, there has to be, just slight changes, slight tweaks that you make to align it or adapt it to a particular JD. But ultimately, you should have one core CV that is your main CV, and everything else is just a slight change. I hope that was helpful.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Yeah. Please, any other question? We are hitting the top of the hour. We'll just give room for one more question. And Joe, so how can people contact you?
So before we get to how you can contact, so this is just a free download. So this, you can, Jeremy is going to send you the link, or you can put the link in the chat now if you like. But it really goes into greater detail of some of the things that I spoke about today, that, the mindset, and just really those things that are really, really holding you back from getting your dream job. So it's free. You can just go download it. There's some exercises in there as well. So pretty much, most of the things I'm talking about, like I said, I like to give away a lot of things for free. So this can really help you get started on that journey to getting that dream high-paying job that you're looking for. So he will share the link with you. And if you want to reach out to me, these are the main ways to contact me. On Facebook, on Instagram, LinkedIn, my website. Because I have multiple companies as well, so I have those other ones. But these are the main ones that you can reach out to me on. And like I said, if you really want to just book a quick session with me, you can go to my website and just book a free session. And we can just talk, if you're feeling like, oh my God, all this is just too much. I don't know where to turn. I don't even know where to even start from. You can book that free call, and we can start to really, really unlock some of those challenges that you might be going through.
Oh, thanks, June. Yeah, really awesome. So I shared the link on the chat, and I'll also be sending it to the emails for everyone that registered. I'll be sharing the link to that. So it's really awesome. Okay. Any last words, June, before we round up?
I just want to encourage everybody, because I know how difficult it is. It was quite difficult for me too when I came to Canada, where it's new terrain. You might be, oh my God, why did I come? Oh my God, what is this? Is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it. I'll tell you for free. It's worth it. And, you don't need to change yourself drastically. You're good enough as you are. You just need the right push, or just that secret sauce. It might just be one sentence that you hear that would just change everything. So don't lose hope. Don't start having any regrets. Those that want to, don't listen. Careful of who you listen to. Really just speak positive thoughts into your life. Just say, there's abundance. Whatever it is I want, it will show up. And have the right people. Surround yourself with the right people that can really encourage you and push you in the right direction. Because greatness is available for every one of us. So I look forward to hearing all your awesome stories in the very near future of how you have your amazing job and living the life of your dreams.
Awesome.
So thank you. It was really nice having me here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah.